Welcome to the Multifamily Collective. Let's talk about maybe it's how often or how many times have you been in a situation where somebody discloses something to you that someone else is feeling a certain way or acting a different way or acting differently in some respects. And you, as the receiver of this information, immediately go into the maybe it's because they're having a bad day. Maybe it's because their friend is doing X. Maybe it's because, and I don't mean ecstasy. I mean they're doing something out of character, but you start to speculate on what the reason is for that particular change in behavior in an individual. Let's say if you're in a workplace, for example, and one of your team members comes in, maybe it's in your downstream, maybe it's in your peer group, maybe it's upstream, and they're just behaving differently toward you as a person. And you start to speculate. Maybe it's because they're stressed. Maybe it's because they're distracted. Maybe it's because they got a lot on their mind. Maybe it's because, they had a bad commute. I mean, how often have you done that? How often have you walked away from a situation? Maybe you're in a group setting and then all of a sudden that person leaves the room or leaves the vicinity. And then all of a sudden there's a conversation going on between you and a peer or you and a downstream team member. And you start speculating on what might be wrong with this person. And it's always, maybe it's this and all that stuff that we just talked about, or all those examples that we just cited. So how about this? How about we exercise something in the coaching world that I think is very valuable? And I'm not saying I'm 100%. I don't knock it out of the park every time on this. I tend to fall into that group of maybe it's, and I start to speculate as it relates to whatever's going on in that person's life or the circumstances that's around or whatever the environment is at the time. But what if we started saying to the person, maybe it's the person that says, maybe the response is this: hey, I have an idea. Why don't you go to that person and say, hey, this morning I recognize that your behavior is a little bit different than normal. The story I'm telling myself is that whatever it is, whatever story you're telling yourself, disclose that, be vulnerable, disclose what it is, and then say, I'm not pressing you for an answer. I just want you to know that I see you. And I just want you to know that I feel something different about you. This is a story I'm telling yourself. If there's something you want to talk about, great. If not, I understand that and respect that as well. And just know that I'm here if you need me. And that's it. Don't speculate. Don't tell yourself stories. Certainly don't speculate in the midst of others and get the rumor mill running, because that is in part how the rumor mill gets running. So that's my encouragement to you today. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.